Good afternoon on a Sunday to everybody. The Miz's first ever mock draft. Never did one before, gonna give it my best shot, guys. Figured I'd try to do a little something different. In the 2021 NFL Draft, the New York Giants at 11 have made a trade. The New York Giants and the Chicago Bears link up in a trade. Chicago will go up to the 11th pick. The New York Giants will drop back to the 20th pick in the first round. They will also receive the 2021 second round pick from the Bears, as well as the third round pick from the Chicago Bears. So the Giants pick up the 20th, the second, and the third round picks in this draft. They're able to pull it all off in this one draft, moving back as the Bears go up to 11 and try to get their quarterback. With the 20th pick in the draft in the first round, Dave Gettleman and the New York Giants select at 20 for the New York Giants. I took a highly regarded tackle. Someone who could play tackle. You could put him on the left side if you want to move Thomas back over to the right where he would be more comfortable, solidifying this offensive line. Telvin Jenkins at the 20th pick. Very big, strong tackle. Can play both sides, also can play a little guard. I think they would use him at the left tackle, moving Thomas over to the right. Moving on to the second round for the New York Giants. At the 42nd pick for the New York Giants, the New York Giants will select guard, Ohio State, Wyatt Davis. The New York Giants need a guard to finish up the deal on this O-line. You've now picked up two huge pieces on the O-line, even more furthering the value that we've put into the weapons that we brought in free agency as we stockpile Daniel Jones for his big season to finally find out what this man can do at quarterback. I'm a big believer Daniel Jones is going to have a big year. Not only does it protect Jones, but you also open up holes and protect the ground game with the very valued running back, Barkley. So the second pick in the draft for the New York Giants is Wyatt Davis, guard, Ohio State. The Giants now have a second round pick that they acquired from the Bears at 52. The Giants are on the clock for their third pick in the second round. With the third pick in the second round at 52. The New York Giants select Ronnie Perkins, defensive end out of Oklahoma. Strong defensive end, very physical, vicious off the edge. I noticed that he explodes off the edge. Needs a little coaching, but a very strong guy. I think you're getting a good value at the 52 spot in the pick that we picked up from the Bears. An edge rusher to go on the other side from Lorenzo Carter. 52, Ronnie Perkins, Oklahoma. In the third round of the 2022 draft, the New York Giants At 76, we'll go to Florida State University and select Marlin Topoloto, wide receiver, Florida State University. Marlin Terry, they call him Scary Terry out of Florida State, 6'4", tall, blazing receiver down the sideline. A lot of people want to call him a modern-day Randy Moss. We know he has a lot to prove to get to that. But this guy brings a chip on his shoulder, plays real angry. I like what I see out of the guy. Controls the sidelines. He's a deep threat. He's also a home run threat on quick passes and slants. This man is a baller, can take it to the house. You don't have to get a receiver at 11 when you could grab a man like this in the 3rd round. You're getting a starting receiver who also was quoted as saying that he plays his game and follows the style of Galladay. So now you're getting someone that he idols put along with Galladay on the other side. Young, strong receiver, doesn't play like a kid. He's already acts like a grown man on the field. Florida State. Scary Terry. Another weapon for Daniel Jones. With the 84th pick that we received from the Bears late in the 3rd round, the New York Giants at 84 select out of Alabama Dylan Moses, linebacker, Alabama. This stud was one of the best linebackers in the nation 2 years ago. The guy was a beast, physical. Players didn't even want to get near him. This guy didn't just tackle you, he tried to knock you out. He's got an old school physical feel to him. Big, strong linebacker. The only reason he would drop this far is he suffered injuries. He had an injury. He kind of fell off this year. But when you're grabbing a guy like this who's hanging around at the 84th pick, you go pick him up to add to your front 7. And you give this kid with a chip on his shoulder a chance to come back and show you what he has. I understand the injury might be a problem, but I'm going to take a chance here. This kid was one of the best in the nation 2 years ago. It wasn't that long ago. All right? With today's type of surgeries, these knees bounce back. It usually takes 2 seasons. I'm going to take my chance on him. Dylan Moses, Alabama. In the 4th round, I went somewhere a little different. I feel we need a guy here to help Barkley out. You know where I'm going. This name stood out. It's hanging around in the 4th round to me. It's still there. It's a great pick at this point in the draft. You give Barkley his 2nd guy. Sorry, I'm not a big believer in Booker. You bring in a young, physical, good running back that can spell Barkley. Have a 1-2 punch. You know, when we won our 2 Super Bowls, we had 2-3 running backs when you had Bradshaw, Jacobs, and Ward, you know. So we got to add someone here. Barkley can't be alone, and we know we're coming up on a contract here in another year. You bring this kid in, you put him behind him, you team them up together. You know the Giants are going to try to have their offense run through the ground game this year. That's what Garrett does. That's why we stacked up on tight ends. In the 4th round, the New York Giants select out of North Carolina, running back Michael Carter. A small, elusive, physical guy. A little bit of a bull. Reminds me a little bit of Ahmad Bradshaw back in the day. Not afraid to run over people. Plays a lot stronger than his size. I know he was part of a 1-2 punch with Williams in Carolina. They both looked amazing. Maybe Williams a little better. You know, I see Carter sitting in the 4th round. He might not be there, but if he is, I'm grabbing him. Bring in another strong running back like this guy and add him to Barkley only helps this offense. Another weapon for Jones. Moving to the 6th round, we don't have a 5th round pick this year. In the 6th round, I'm going to breeze through these 2 picks real fast. Okay? In the 6th round, I'm going to USC. I found a guy that plays real strong. He's actually an animal. He's under the radar. Again, I'm surprised to see him here at this point. But if you could get this guy here in the 6th round, and that's what I'm getting him, you're getting amazing value. We lost the defensive tackle. I know we added Shelton. I'm going to go draft one. We all know Gettleman can't help himself. He loves defensive tackles. In the 6th round out of USC, the New York Giants draft defensive tackle Marlin Topoloto. Marlin Topoloto. This guy is a big physical, 305, 6'3" animal in the middle of the line. Another man that stuffs the run, but also can get after the quarterback up the middle. Another guy that will allow Leo to be a freelancer. And the final pick in the draft, later in the 6th round, we don't have a 7th round. 6th round pick, I found a guy, shockingly, still sitting there in the 6th round. Honestly, don't think he'll even get to this round. But for me, he was sitting there. He fits a need. With a little grooming, this guy can be a real solid edge rusher. Out of the University of Pitt, the New York Giants select defensive end at the University of Pitt, Rashad Weaver, which would be a steal in the 7th round. That's a great value pick. A 7th round steal if he's there. Another edge rusher for the New York Giants. In this draft, chance to pile a couple up on. I know we needed some that we could pile up 2 or 3 of them. Add them to Exhibitors, Coughlin, and Lorenzo Carter. You get yourself Dylan Mosey, Rashawn Weaver, and Perkins. That's my first ever mock. I will try to do one more before the draft where I will fine-tune it. I tried to be unbiased and leave out the one guy that you all know that I'm crazy about, which is Parsons. I took the trade down to add the 2 extra picks that I felt the Giants really need. This draft is loaded with value picks, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round. If we could get a trade down to pick up 1 or 2 picks in those rounds, it's a no-brainer. We have to do it, as we are still building a big-time team. Until my next mock draft, The Miz.